Bobby, my first sort of real question really was just sort of, I was reading you and David have known each other for a while. How did you guys sort of come to meet?
About 5 years ago, I walked into this dojo in Echo Park, this mixed martial arts studio led by Alexander Mesquita, sensei, we call him. And I was studying there for about a year and a half. And then I started training with someone, this tall white guy. Didn't know who he was. We just became friends, we hit it off. And it started very slowly though. It was like, hey, do you want to spot me when I work out? Do you want it was just very, very minimal. And, from that grew into like becoming just buddies. And then from buddies, we started hanging out. And from hanging out, he just one day to the next was like, do you want to be in a movie with me? You want to make a movie with me? And I said, yeah, I do. So he's like, all right, then I'm going to give you something and we're going to work together and we're going to prepare and we're going to rehearse and then we'll get into it. So it really started.
And I was going to say, did you still have to do the kind of whole auditioning, sort of casting side of it, or was it a bit of a straight entry?
No, there was no audition process. I think the audition process actually was just the relationship him and I created. I think that's kind of the best collaborations is, falling in love with someone and then being able to create with them. I think that's a huge testament of what kind of relationship you're creating and friendships you want to have. And so for David, who's really well received in the industry and has a huge career and everyone knows him for so long, I think for him, he was, he and I were both looking for something to do, and it just worked out that he had time and he wanted to create with me, and I feel more than grateful, and I'm just forever blessed for his opportunity, and it was amazing.
And I know obviously your character he's quite flawed and he gets involved in some murky things, but he's a real kind of family man. And I guess it's for you as an actor, was that where you could connect? Was that the kind of strand that you could cling on to, that he is a compassionate and he is a caring person that values his family and their well-being?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And also I think it's like a lot of Chicanos or these characters, these gangsters in South Los Angeles, what they are is just poets, they're very sensitive human beings, even with these hard exteriors, that really what they want is love, and like everyone else. And so it's not that far away from a regular day person or someone like myself who can really relate, because I too have family that I love dearly, and I would do anything for. And I think any one of us would do that. It's a universal theme where if you put into a tight spot, what are you gonna do? And I think any one of us will protect and care for the ones that we love. And so it might be this really rah and tough stuff, but at the end of the day, you go home to your mommy or your daddy or your wife or your kids or your brother and your sisters, and and you really, that's the people you do everything for.
Yeah, so just not as a rule of thumb, but as an actor, do you think you need to like the character you play in order to portray them, or at least understand their motives?
Yeah, I don't think it's a like or a dislike. I think it's more of just what parts of themselves can you find within your own self, and just use that. Not judging your character and not judging any the script or anything, because obviously you take the job, so you want it, which means that you're gonna put your whole heart into it and be genuine with it. So that's the first and foremost, the first action. And then after that, it's about appreciating your character and understanding their life and understanding the reasons why they do their things. And then it becomes even more of a ripple effect from there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is all set in your kind of hometown. Is this a kind of, I know obviously this world is quite underground, but is it something you've ever kind of encountered firsthand or seen, even just a friend that's kind of fallen in with the wrong crowd or anything?
Yeah, definitely. This is a very vibrant and very alive organism and I believe in many ghettos in many places in all around the world. I think it's just not talked about in big media. I myself grew up in South Central Los Angeles, so it's a day-to-day thing and a day-to-day struggle where it's an easy way to make money or easy way to live your life very fast, or you can decide if you're lucky and have the opportunity to step away from that and find some other interests. outside of that, but it's a cycle, and it has to do with, you know, goes down to like the political stuff with educational programs and, you know, artistic programs, and it goes down to like just the way that the community and the society that Los Angeles is based in. You know, it's how does the community, or how does it reflect itself, and how does it take care of itself? So, you know, it really takes a lot to actually want to break away from something that you grew up around your whole life, and it just becomes your norm.
Yeah. With that in mind, how much does like the movies of David Ayer in some way kind of help the community in giving kind of opportunities to young people? I mean, obviously there's loads of extras on the set. I'm assuming he found a lot of people from the local area. I mean, when you remember growing up and you saw films like Training Day, did that give you a sense of like, you know, like I could do that, I could be in movies like that? Is his projects in some ways helping that area?
Yeah, definitely. The thing about David is that there's nobody else that's telling a Los Angeles story more than David Ayers. If you look at Harsh Times, or if you see Training Day, or if you see even Bright, even if you see, you know, Suicide Squad, he's got one of the first Chicano superheroes in there, Diablo, which is played by Jay Hernandez. So he's always trying to implement the lifestyle and the culture that he grew up in, and that he's in love with. And you know, he definitely gives back to the community. I mean, we were filming this film, The Tax Collector, we filmed all over South Central Los Angeles. So it was really just a great opportunity to come back to at literally a 2 blocks where I grew up from. So like my grandmother still lives around that neighborhood, and my grandfather too. And so, you know, I have a lot of relationships around there while we were filming like at this park. So it was just a great opportunity, you know, to come full circle. And David, yes, of course, he's always trying to implement the Los Angeles street culture, and there's not a lot of people that can do that authentically. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone else. I mean, if you talk about Los Angeles, you're always gonna people are always gonna mention Training Day. You know, if you ever want to talk about street culture, is either you're going to talk about Training Day, regardless. You know, that's just the and end of watch. You know, you're gonna talk about these films, and because it's really what a lot of this goes down. A lot of it happens.
Yeah, you mentioned your family. Did you get them along to the set at all? Did you get your grandparents to come and see you filming?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't take anybody on set to my my family. It was just because it's work, you know, and I didn't have like time to introduce people. You know, it wouldn't work out like that. It was just really just work.
But outside of that, did you get the chance to experience the movie? I think I've read somewhere that you saw the film in an open air theatre, which must have been a really special experience for you. Were you able to share it then with your family and friends?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Yeah, they all came by, and it was great because it was a drive-in theater that I went to growing up as a kid, and everyone from Los Angeles, that's the drive-in you go to. Like that's just the one you go to because that's the closest one, and it's the cheapest and the most affordable one. So I went there, and then that was amazing, and to have every screen with the film going on, and it was a packed house, and a lot of my family and friends went, and so I really enjoyed that. Thank you for asking me. That was cool.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was wondering too. Because obviously I was talking about the kind of opportunities David will give to locals to get involved in the project cast and crew. I was reading that you and Shia are starting this youth theatre. Is that with a sort of similar intention to give opportunities to young people in the area that perhaps might not have been given this kind of route otherwise?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, definitely. That was exactly what we wanted. It came from a dream of never having a place to unplug and to plug in and to always check in and create and constantly and consistently creating and touching the love, you know, for our art. Because a lot of times in film, you know, you don't have that opportunity. And then at the same time, this neighborhood that I grew up in, you have to take 2 to 3 hour drives to Hollywood to find an acting class, you know, or to find some kind of artistic endeavor. And so growing up in that neighborhood myself, I always was looking for it, and it was always a dream of mine. And Shia as well, he met a lot of local people in the community. He's in Echo Park, so Shia grew up in Echo Park, which is not far from Los Angeles and South LA, where I grew up at. So, you know, we were able to like link on that and then create something and get back to the community and constantly touching that art with also people that have never got involved with it. So it was like this, it was it all just merged together,
Has that been affected by the pandemic, the kind of opening of this theatre, or have actually used the chance to help write and prepare for when it does eventually kind of come to fruition?
Well, we actually created a play, and
Nice.
our first play was on October 2nd. Our first show was October 2nd, and we have this whole month of October, we're sold out already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have 15 shows, and we're already sold out. We've already been on, many people have come and seen it, and it's already getting some media attention, which is great because, a lot of these people that are in our company have never been in something at the size of this, and now it's like it's happening for real for them, and it's amazing. And we created it's a COVID friendly production. It's a drive-in theater production, so it's really, you can see it happening in front of your car. You're in your car, you're seeing the screens playing out. So it's a live cinema at its best, and it's amazing. And I had the opportunity of being there we were there for about 6 months, and every Saturday we take a test, or COVID test, and we keep it safe and keep our masks and 6 feet of distance, but we're still creating together. And so it was just, we know that the world needs to have something, and to watch and to be entertained and to feel delighted and to feel good about. So we created this piece, and it's really something. It's amazing.
It sounds like you're very committed to giving opportunities to like the next generation of actors. I was wondering who was your kind of equivalent? Was there anyone that took you under their wing that really helped you and guide you when you sort of first started off?
Yeah, there was this lady. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, man. I grew up in the streets, and no art program was available. And when I was a little kid, I got into a lot of trouble. And the only way that I was able to put that into another outlet, I was blessed to have my mom, who actually wanted me to get out of it. So she put me into a class with a lady named Lisa Picotte and David Kaufman in Hollywood. And this couple, they teach acting to this day, and they have classes for the youth, and they've done a great thing with their lives, and they just held on to me, and they didn't let me leave even when I was having tantrums when I was a kid and didn't want to be there, because I was the only brown kid in the class. Like, I was the only dark-skinned kid in the class that everyone else was white. So, but Lisa and David, they showed me they showed me to see the other side of it, and they really inspired me, and they held on to me, and they really pushed me. So, I give a lot of my love and thanks to them, because without them, I wouldn't be here right now. That's the truth. And
yeah, because I think the thing is, so much of getting into films and getting roles like this comes out from being in the right place at the right time. So meeting David and then at this dojo, and then these small encounters always end up leading to big things. But that doesn't take away from the hard grafting, does it, either? I mean, it sounds like you've really worked hard since you were young to get to this stage, to be the lead role in a movie of this nature. Do you finally feel now like it's all been for something, or is the journey still ongoing?
I think God works in his mysterious ways, and I believe that I believe in the universe has got its own plan for everyone, and it unfolds when it's supposed to unfold, and it gives us what we need, not what we want. And so it's all about just concentrating and staying focused and having this narrow vision of what you want and your goal, and just allowing life to be life, and continuing that journey. And so, yes, I do think it's a lot of it is the synchronicities, or just things just happening, and riding those waves.
So I interviewed Shia last year for the Peanut Butter Falcon. He was paired with his co-star Zach, and it sounds like the two of them struck up this incredible relationship on set. And it sounds like you and Shia also struck. So it feels like whoever he's kind of paired with on set, he really makes a real beeline to find something between you that and work. And it's not a coincidence that he's obviously now made such good friends with two sort of co-stars in recent years. What is it about him as a collaborator that makes him such not just a great person to work alongside, but actually a really close friend as well?
Shia likes to listen. Shia loves to listen, and he loves to be around genuine human beings. And I've met Zach before, and Zach's a great human being, someone that's just always honest and truthful, and you cannot tell a lie around him because he sees through it. He's amazing. And I think for Shia himself, you would have to ask him that question. But from what I've seen, he's really an open human being. You know, he's really open and patient, and really he can listen to you. You know, really well. He understands, and he's empathetic. So.
Yeah, it must really help sort of raise the game of everyone around on set, not just Shia, but when you get these sort of more method type actors who are so dedicated to the scene that they're in and to the character they're playing. I guess, does that filter through to everyone on set when you're working alongside people who are so committed to the role and to the project?
I think anybody that's committed to any project or any role in any circumstances is going to affect everyone around them, because you know, when you really see someone going for it, it just makes you want to go for it as well, because there's like someone is setting the bar. And when someone sets the bar, you don't want to be below, you want to be right there with them. So I feel like everyone, no matter who it is or where they're at or what's said or what, if someone just turned, like you see it, like we see it in daily life when someone really means what they say, and then everyone around them wants them to like say what they mean too, and then everyone and then it becomes like this ripple effect of like everyone being honest and genuine, and then you just get, and then it elevates. And yes, I do believe that it regardless of who it is, commitment is commitment. And when you see somebody committing to something, well, you want to do it too because it looks so fun, you know.
Yeah. So my final question was just about what's next, really. I know obviously you're working on this play, but have you been auditioning for anything during lockdown, or so have you taken this time just to focus purely on the theatre?
Yeah, we took this whole time to focus purely on Slauson Rec Theater and creating that piece. And also, I'm currently in a hotel. I'm in Mexico City, working on a TV series for Netflix, but I can't say the name apparently because it's just the way it is. But yeah, I just got here last week, so I'm blessed and I'm happy. And I'm happy that this is something that, you know, many actors I know, like, they're not working, you know, because they're just waiting to, like, production and stuff doesn't know how they're gonna go about things. And I'm lucky that I had this job from last year, and now they came back and they're starting up again. So, you know, many people are not working right now, which is unfortunate and sad. But I think what it's doing is a great thing with putting people together and having them work out their kinks and figuring out what they want to create. And I feel like once the industry is really back on, there's gonna be so many things coming at it all at once. So people have to get prepared, you know, and just work hard.
Very quick, I was going to say, I'm not going to ask you what it is you're shooting, don't worry, but I just wondered if you've been shooting with like new social distancing measures and guidelines, and how you found the kind of new way of working.
It's an adjustment for sure. And I think, I mean, I think the most beautiful thing is that because there's social distancing, you can only be in a group of people that you're allowed to be around with, because of course everyone's being tested and this and that, so you're being safe. And so then now your circle is very small, and so now it creates this connection with everyone, all the actors and artists or whoever else is in that circle. That's the only people you can be around. So now you're like really creating like a real, and like just real friendships and relationships that you wouldn't have had last time before this thing, because now, you know, now it's like you're forced into these bubbles, and it's a lot of fun because you get to really know each other.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck with the rest of the shoot, and thanks for your time today. It's been a real pleasure.
Thanks, man. You too.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,